Hi, this is Moon Apothecary, Optimistic Mysteries, formerly Optimistic Mixtape. I'm your host, Audrey, and this is a D20 powered music discovery exploration game where we used the D20 as a way to select songs from a record that was found in a real world location. On Friday, February 20th, 2026 at 2:24 p.m., I found this vinyl record at the Music Crate in Myrtle Wombat, located in Brooklyn, New York. It's Joshua Rifkin's 1971 vinyl record, Piano Rags by Scott Joplin. And I randomly selected this from the Music Crate that's located on site. I didn't know why I chose this one. I think I liked the cover of it because there's something very serene about the cover art. If you look at it, it's a musician at his piano and at candlelight too. So it's like burning the midnight candle. Someone who works really hard on the music that they're making. Also, we're currently in the Lunar New Year week, kind of like at the tail end of the celebrations, but it still kind of goes on until the end of February. And so the color red popped out at me. Also, we're in Black History Month, so happy Black History Month to everybody. I also want to quickly make an announcement that I am broadcasting live on Lenape traditional unceded territory in Queens, New York, United States. So I didn't know anything going into this album. We're going to select a song from this album using a D20. And if you haven't been following my show throughout the last few months, what that means is I'm going to roll a die and you're going to see me do that. And this is how we're going to bring in the universe through chance to make a selection and collaborate with us. And this is a way for the zeitgeist to be voiced and expressed in the real world. Giving it a good roll. Okay. And this is how we're going to bring the universe into making a selection. Hopefully that was Scott Joplin who made that choice. However, we don't know. There may be another, as they say, entity that is currently with us at this time that made that selection. Let me bring that closer in. That was 12. So that's 3 because there's only 8 tracks on the record. Okay, so track number 3 is Cascades, and we're going to give that a listen, and that is off of Piano Rags by Scott Joplin. Here we go. This is Cascades by Scott Joplin. That was Scott Joplin's The Cascades. And I want to reveal to you a little bit about what happened when I first heard this album. After listening to a few songs, I realized I have heard of Scott Joplin's music before. I didn't know anything about him, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I was never formally educated in music history when I was in school. So naturally, I was curious about Scott's life story. I searched the movie database to see what films or biopics were made about him to learn more. The only result that showed up was a short documentary that is around 10 minutes long, Scott Joplin, King of Ragtime, made in 1977. I noticed that the audio on the digital file was damaged. It was ripped from a VHS tape, so it sounded like someone was singing the ragtime piano, but drunk.
Joplin's heroine banishes evil and superstition through an education bringing enlightenment to all.
The voiceover and other soundtracks weren't affected. Only Joplin's music, which was strange.
Joplin and Stark had a falling out. Stark saw no market for Joplin's new opera.
John, I never thought you'd turn against me.
Joplin did publish Tremonisha himself. He spent all of his money staging a rehearsal for potential backers, but they were not ready for it. Blacks could not relate to the opera form, and the whites could not identify with the story message.
This gloomy building, dilapidated and in a ruinous condition, is where the last days of Ragtime's greatest composer, Scott Joplin, were spent. It's a part of the Manhattan State Hospital, which is a hospital for the insane. He had been committed in 1916 by his wife, suffering from the effects of a long delusion that a black man could get a grand opera staged. He consumed his last years, obsessively working on this opera until finally he began to show the effects and the ravages of syphilis and the madness it culminates in. The building is directly under a giant causeway, and the background noise that you hear is that of automobiles going back and forth. But for anybody who loves ragtime, this building is a building of real significance. For here, Scott Joplin died, and without Joplin, we simply wouldn't have ragtime as we know it. He, more than any other single person, was the man who made it possible for ragtime to become a music of lasting significance. And in so doing, he really laid the cornerstone of what many of us now think is American music.
I think what may have led to Joplin's descent into madness was that he was living too much in his dreams and became so unhinged from reality during his writing process for a piece based on the idea that black people should have equal opportunity to star in operas and make a profit from it. But he never received the investment needed to fully materialize his project and complete it. Like an inventor who has all the blueprints to a genius technology, a lot of potential. However, without the support and backing required to see its development, it never came to fruition. So he got lost in his mind, a much more ordered and sweeter place for him. Maybe he couldn't accept the physical, real world which rejected him and all the folks who could have evolved the performing arts much earlier.
Joplin and Stark had a falling out. Stark saw no market for Joplin's new opera.
John, I never thought you'd turn against me.
Joplin did publish Tremonisha himself. He spent all of his money staging a rehearsal for potential backers, but they were not ready for it. Blacks could not relate to the opera form, and the whites could not identify with the story message.
While listening to Maple Leaf Rag, Scott Joplin's most influential hit, I thought about how the song was compatible with electronic instrumentation format of a chiptune soundtrack in a retro video game, so I shared my thoughts on my Instagram stories. Shortly, I received a direct message from a friend, also named Scott, who streams video game walkthroughs online, and he told me that it actually was used as the tune in the video game Domino Man. He never got to see his opera Treemonisha come to life during his lifetime, but Joplin's music was rediscovered in the early 1970s after the release of Joshua Rifkin's Piano Rags by Scott Joplin, the exact album I picked from the crate. This album generated new attention to Joplin's work nearly 60 years later. And eventually Joplin's lifetime wish to produce his all-black cast opera Treemonisha was granted. It was performed on stage in 1972, and a few years later he posthumously won the Pulitzer Prize in 1976. I wonder if Scott Joplin's songs will reemerge again, and in the next few decades we'll see more works with his music sprinkled in. Like Joshua Rifkin, I too was drawn to his work, felt a connection to his story, and am inspired by it, but only time will tell. To close out the case of Scott Joplin, this is Donald Byrd's Dominoes.
Pretty baby, dry your eyes, don't you know it can't be that bad? How it hurts me, pretty baby, when I see you sitting there so sad. Don't need to worry about tomorrow, and yesterday is gone. So raise the chin up, girl, and we will work our problems out one by one. Hold me tight, don't let go. Turn me loose, never no, no, no. We'll stand our problems all in a row. Watch them fall like dominoes. Falling like dominoes. I see you sitting there so sad. One day we'll laugh and sing and say that everything's alright. So let's not worry about tomorrow while we got each other here tonight. Hold me tight, don't let go. Turn me loose, never no. We'll stand our problems all in a row. Watch them fall like dominoes, falling like dominoes. Dominoes.